right, I think I will start. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lorika.
Welcome to all the presenters and to everybody here in the book launch. This book launch is hosted by IOSIS. IOSIS unlocks knowledge to the world. Please bear in mind that this book launch video is being recorded. The video will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel and our website for you to share with your colleagues. A warm welcome again to our presenters. We are launching the Humanities Open Access book, Self-Directed Learning in the Era of the COVID-19 Pandemic, research on the affordances of online virtual excursions from the Northwest University in South Africa in the Northwest University Self-Directed Learning Series. Please join us to listen to a discussion about the book from its subject specialists.
Thank you very much, Lorika, and welcome everybody to this book launch. Thank you also to IOSIS publishers and to all members of the contributing team who researched chapters and developed work in the period of the COVID pandemic. We're really delighted to be able to see colleagues with us this morning, and we value the opportunity to share something about the book. I'm Robert Balfour. I'm one of the editors of the book, but I'm joined this morning by my colleagues, Josef and Neal Petersen, as well as Elsa Mentz. We are also associated with the Self-Directed Research Unit, Self-Directed Learning Research Unit at the university, that's Northwest University, and this book speaks to the affordances of online learning during the COVID pandemic. It's an exciting work in the sense that it responds to a recent and traumatic event in our national past and also globally. And so the research speaks to the affordances of work-integrated learning when conducted in the online learning modality. Please join me together in welcoming our editors thus, and I have some questions which I'd like to pose to them. Neal, all institutions were forced to consider online teaching and learning during the COVID pandemic. NWU was one of those institutions. Do you think this is worthy of a scholarly book?
Yes, thanks, Robert. The short answer is yes. But we had to reimagine the excursions based on the same winning principles of the face-to-face excursions. So I will mention a few of these design principles of the online excursions. It was a synchronous event, meaning it is in real time where the students, presenters and facilitators interact with each other. We as presenters created a safe space for the students to feel comfortable to verbalize their opinions. But the two most important design principles of the excursion was surely problem-based learning and cooperative learning to foster self-directed learning. In terms of problem-based learning, we showed a video depicting a video diary of a very concerned principal of a troubled or dysfunctional school. The video depicts some of the authentic challenges that play out in many South African classrooms on a daily basis, such as a lack of resources, teachers that are using mostly predominantly chalk and talk methods, reading from a textbook, PowerPoint slides, but we also touch on the heavy stuff such as diversity, equity, inclusivity and social justice issues. The video was shown as the first activity and can be regarded as the driver because all other activities referred back to the video. The excursion was characterized by alternating plenary sessions and breakaway sessions where students work in small groups of 5. These small group discussions were scaffolded based on cooperative learning principles. This implies that all had to participate by coming up with solutions to the common problem that they need to solve. To make sure all group members participated in the different activities, the group members had to change their roles during the different activities, such as to be a materials manager who organized the study materials in one activity, be a communication specialist who needs to provide feedback in another activity, or he or she can be a quality controller, a tech fundi, and lastly, an organizer making sure that everything went smooth and stay on the task. There were no lectures, and a pedagogy of play was used to make learning fun and enjoyable. Robert?
Thanks so much, Neal. Elsa, when paging through this book, one gets the impression that it's rather eclectic in nature. It covers a myriad of themes, such as the wave as a metaphor for COVID-19. It prompted a response from all of our higher education institutions, but there are also themes covered on gamification of learning, problem-based learning, cooperative learning, assessments, etc. Furthermore, 3 participating faculties are featured in this book: the Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Law and Health Sciences, all at Northwest University, are part of this mixed masala, if you like. One would think that any good scholarly book should have a proverbial golden thread, Elsa, and in your view, what is the golden thread that runs through this book?
Thank you for this question, Robert. Yes, it is important to highlight that the golden thread running through the 13 chapters of this book is how Northwest University creatively responded to the pandemic through its online virtual student excursions. The design principles upon which the excursion were based supported self-directed learning, which is also a strategic priority of all teaching and learning at Northwest University. We explained how we utilize different student-centered active learning strategies, such as you mentioned, cooperative learning, problem-based learning, game-based learning, as well as multimodal assessment to enhance self-directed learning. Throughout the book, the focus on enhancing self-directed learning and assisting students to take the responsibility of their own learning is evident. The design principles for this online excursion were carefully selected to support the self-directed learning skills and attributes of students, and thus the leitmotif throughout this book is shedding light on how the institution continues to strive towards the promotion of self-directed learning amongst our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Elsa. Josef, in terms of the scholarly contribution that this book makes, it's a collection of many chapters, and we hope, obviously, that it'll be relevant to students as well as scholars in the field. In your view, what is that scholarly contribution, and how does it make an impact on education practice in the area?
Thank you, Robert. Online learning is becoming increasingly important, and in this book we share empirical data and, as Neal has said, design principles for creating optimal learning opportunities for online learning, and I think this is useful to other universities, higher education institutions as well. The book highlights the affordances of online virtual learning, but also show what are possible barriers to learning in the online space and how we can overcome that. For activity theory scholars, there are also chapters utilizing third-generation cultural historical activity theory, which is really nascent research here in South Africa. And I do think the book therefore makes a methodological contribution to scholarship that should be of interest to chat researchers, cultural historical activity theory scholars. Now, the excursion as integrative learning sometimes goes against the grain of the structured features of campus life. If you look at the disruption of timetables at a university, the financial cost of such an excursion, and I think the scholarly book shows how an institution like the NWU overcame these systemic factors that might hinder such innovative approaches. And I think that will also be useful for other institutions that would like to engage with such activities. Lastly, 11 of the 13 chapters deals with excursions for student teachers located in the Faculty of Education, and how these engaging pedagogies that Neal mentioned could be used to provide student teachers with more nuanced understanding of the complex profession they will enter. And I think the book is therefore also of significance for teacher educators and scholars in the field of pre-service teacher education. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so much, Josef. So the focus on interdisciplinarity also pulls through in this book from the chapters that we saw featured from the Faculty of Law and health sciences, and we hope that the use of social constructivist learning theory, as well as the overarching theoretical framework adopted for the design of virtual excursions, will be of enormous relevance to not only in teacher education, but indeed in all the professions associated with work-integrated learning and even service learning. On that note, I want to thank our editors for their contributions to this book launch this morning. We hope everybody who's attended has felt welcomed in the overview of the book, and we hope that you will refer to it and use it in your own work. We look forward to further engagements on these important themes concerning self-directed learning and further research to deepen the affordances of online virtual learning excursions. Thank you very much, colleagues and friends. Larica, back to you.
Thank you. So for the audience, if you have any questions, then you are welcome to email the editors. Their contact details are in the book. Thank you for your time and this insightful discussion. We are sure this book will achieve great heights.